universal code of conduct. Let me share my screen with you.
Whilst Machi is doing that, welcome everybody to Let's Connect session in collaboration with Wiki for Human Rights campaign. Just wanted to remind people we have interpretation in French, Portuguese, Spanish, and Arabic. So you can just go to that channel. If for any reason it's not working, just please let us know and we will try to fix it. And a reminder to our speakers and everybody, whoever speaks, to speak slowly so we can do a great interpretation. And also when you use the chat to write or the Jamboard, we'll be using a Jamboard, we will help you interpret and translate. So you can write in any language that you prefer. And have a great session, everybody.
Yes, thank you, Jessica, for the reminder. Once again, let us welcome you at the session. The session today is brought to you by Wikimedia Serbia, Wiki for Human Rights, and the Wikimedia Foundation growth team responsible for the newcomer tools. The topic of today's sessions are effective strategies for retaining and re-engaging editors or participants during Wiki for Human Rights campaign, but the lessons learned today will most likely be also useful during other campaigns or competitions for the community members. Let me welcome our speakers today. They will be Ivana Madzarevic from Wikimedia Serbia, Nevena, Rudinac, also from Wikimedia Serbia, and Kirsten Stoller, a growth team manager from the Wikimedia Foundation, and Martin Urbanec, a volunteer steward and Czech community Wikipedian, and also ambassador and software engineer in the Wikimedia Foundation growth team. Welcome, everybody. We will now start with the introduction to our topic today from Kirill. Welcome, Kirill.
Thank you, Machi. Welcome everyone to today's session. I'm really glad to see so many people interested in sharing experience and learning something from more experienced communities regarding writing campaigns and other similar initiatives. I would like to briefly introduce everyone with the Wiki for Human Rights campaign, which began 3 years ago. It was a few months before the pandemic. I remember that when I first saw that there is such an initiative in the movement, I was impressed and immediately went to plan some activities that could be organized on the Macedonian Wikipedia. And that's how actually I got involved in the campaign. In the first year, there was no clear theme that was targeted by the international organizers of the campaign. But then eventually, as the initiative started growing and people got more interested, we decided to go with the right to healthy environment as a topic that needs to be pinpointed.
Acabo de entrar en una reunión.
Sorry?
Ahora necesito. Vale.
I'm sorry, somebody is speaking. If you could please mute your mic if you are not an active speaker.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So we decided to go with the right to healthy environment as a theme of the Wiki for Human Rights, as something which is of growing popularity around the world, and people really need to take care about it, and awareness needs to be raised about it. So most of the activities that were tailored in the past few editions were mostly targeting this topic. However, it depends on the community and their perception of human rights, because for one community, the healthy environment might be the priority topic related to human rights, but for other communities, it may not be the case. For example, when I proposed the idea to the CEE community last year, and this year as well, there were many people who commented that healthy environment is really not something which is of the highest priority for the CEE region, because there are some other topics that are also interested and need to be prioritized. So with regards to the CEE region, because the main target audience of this call are people from the CEE region. With regards to the CEE region, last year I decided to go with a connection between the Wiki for Human Rights campaign and the CEE Spring, which is the regional writing contest in the CEE region, in which participating communities write articles about other participating communities, and to propose human rights as one of the priority topics which needs to be included in the contest. By doing this, we make sure that a lot of communities are participating at the same time, because we really don't need to go to all local organizers and tell them that they need to be more specific or organize some activities related to human rights, because by simply identifying topics which are relevant to their community and listing them in the article lists of CEE Spring, they could also encourage participation in other communities to write articles about human rights. And that mechanism could produce a lot of newly created or improved articles about human rights on the CEE languages. And at the end, I have to say that it earned some success. It was successful last year. And that's why we decided to go with the same concept this year. Because Wiki for Human Rights usually takes place at the same time of CEE Spring. They're overlapping. It stands to reason to identify human rights as a high impact topic and try to promote it to the CEE communities. So this year we decided to set human rights as a high impact topic alongside women, and organize a sub-contest called CEE for Human Rights, in which communities participating in CEE Spring are encouraged to participate, encouraged to promote the idea of human rights within their community and motivate participants to write more articles about human rights. However, apart from the connection between CEE Spring and CEE for Human Rights, communities are also encouraged to go their own way and plan other activities independent of the regional writing contest by collaborating with some human rights initiatives, activists, institutions, or other means of communication in order to identify reference literature and also to accelerate the generation of content about this topic on their Wikipedia. One such example is the Czech community, which, by the way, is not participating in CEE Spring, but they plan to organize activities related to human rights in this June, which is really interesting and is something that could be a good model for other participants and other local organizers in the CEE region. Apart from the Czech Wikipedia, there are also some plans to have similar activities on the Macedonian Wikipedia, independent of the CEE Spring Writing Contest. And I hope that this session is going to really be fruitful and of great value for all participants in order to get a clear understanding of the direction in which the development of the activities related to the Wiki for Human Rights campaign should go. I would also like to thank Ivana and Nevena from Wikimedia Serbia for deciding to share their experience in organizing writing campaigns, and especially in editor retention. I know that Wikimedia Serbia used to be one of the leaders in the CE region, but also in the global movement in organizing writing campaigns. If you go to the main page on the Serbian Wikipedia, you can see that there is always a site notice, a central notice message in which they announce that they have ongoing writing campaigns, and it goes forever. So I can't remember when was the last time that they didn't organize a writing campaign. So I really think that they're one of the most experienced people in the movement who can share a lot and who can provide a really great knowledge for all here about organizing writing campaigns and also how to approach editor retention as one of the key concepts in the movement. Okay, that would be from my side regarding the introduction. Maciej, you want to add something?
Yes, thank you very much, Kirill. I wanted to introduce everybody to the Let's Connect program. And I wanted to introduce you to all to the Let's Connect program and explain a bit of what is the group that we are meeting here today. The Let's Connect is a peer learning program that is led by the volunteers and its working group. I am one of them. We are supported by Wikimedia Foundation that is running this initiative. It is an organization, an informal organization, let's call it this way, that helps people that are engaged in an affiliate or other Wikimedia organization to learn together from each other regarding our Wikimedia activities and the way that we can all work together to achieve better our goals. And as I mentioned before, learning and teaching each other as we are to do here today. We are also here to have a good time together. We want to make people comfortable and confident. Comfortable because we are all here as Wikimedians, and confident as we are all here to share our skills and different experiences that we have learned in the past. We all have something to learn here, either directly from each other, indirectly. And remember that no matter the experience, whether we are in the movement for 10, 20 years, or just for a couple of months, we can learn from each other and we can teach each other. The learning outcomes for today's clinic are as follows. We want to make the participants aware or maybe expand on their knowledge about the strategies that the Wikimedia movement organizers can use to retain volunteers and new editors during their campaigns, and share with us which they think have proven most effective in the past years. We are also here to connect the WikiForHumanRights organizers, such as Kirill before, or Wikimedia Serbia, to each other, and to hope that they can all work in the on the next campaigns together, and that they can all work together for the better campaigns in the next years. The agenda for today is as follows. We've just finished the introduction. We will now start with an icebreaker to make sure that we all know each other, where we came from, who we are. That will then lead us to the joint reflection on our past experiences as a group regarding campaigns, retaining new editors, organizing Wiki for Human Rights or other campaigns in our communities, which will then be supplemented by the experience that Wikimedia Serbia and the Wikimedia Foundation Growth Team will have generously donated to us to be here today, and we will hear what they have learned over the past over their past experiences. We will also have time for a Q&A to ask them if you have any questions regarding their experience. This will be later followed by a group discussion that will try to summarize what we have learned today and come up with new strategies that you can all take back to your communities And at the close, we will summarize what we have learned today, and we will say goodbye to everybody and hope that we will meet during the next clinics. The icebreaker for today is prepared to you by the Let's Connect working group. We really enjoy getting to know our community, where you are from, who you are, what do you like. I would like to ask all of you to share quickly and shortly, what is your name or username if you don't want to share your real name? Where are you currently from? Maybe where do you reside if you're not at your home country? And in one word or a couple of words, but try to keep it short, what is your even goal or hope for the next Wiki for Human Rights campaign? Or if you are not an organizer this year, any other campaign or competition that you or your affiliate is running, and what you hope to achieve during it. You can do it in the chat as Jessica did. Let me use the mic. If you also want to grab something, you can raise your hand. My name is Maciej. I'm from Wikimedia Poland. I was born there in Poland. On every day, I live in Belgium, but actually today I'm in Poland for the Easter celebration. And my goal for the campaign I'm helping to organize, which is the CEE Spring, actually, so also connected to the CEE region, is to diversify the attendees and make sure that they all stand with us as long as possible. Thank you all for sharing on the chat. If you want to share, you can do it in your language as well. You can use the mic. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Jessica.
If someone is hesitant, oh, I see Marcela has raised her hand.
Marcela, please share away.
Olá a todos, eu sou Marcela Montenegro, do Brasil. Essa é a primeira reunião que eu participo, por isso eu achei que fosse importante falar, né, não só escrever. Estou muito feliz de estar participando e de ter esse espaço para podermos trocar conhecimentos. Sempre atuei com voluntariado em diversas áreas aqui no Brasil e me interessa muito essa parte, né, dos direitos humanos para trazer equidade, pertencimento e gerar acesso para as pessoas brasileiras. Então é isso. Muito obrigada.
Thank you, Marcela. Thanks for sharing with us your expectations from the session and your views regarding human rights. Is there anyone else who would like to use the microphone and tell something? I see that people are mostly using the chat, which is also fine.
Yes, we will give it one more minute for everybody to share. Thank you very much for those who already did. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Chinu. Thank you, Amin. And with that, you can still share in the chat if you want, but we will proceed to our next point in the agenda. I would like to ask everybody to follow the Jamboard link that will now be shared in the chat. When you open it, you can check out the Jamboard prepared to you for you by the Wikimedia Let's Connect team, where we will ask you to answer the questions that are presented there regarding your experiences. You can share it in your own language, you can share it in English, and we will comment together on those reflections as we best see how it coincides with our own with our own experiences and our own expectations. Okay, I can already see that the first Jamboard note is filled out. Please do not hesitate. If you have trouble editing the Jamboard, please share your comment down in the chat, and one of either me or my colleague will put your comment directly there so it can be grouped with other ideas similar to yours. It may be experience, method, or if you have more problems, please raise your hand and feel free to speak out. Okay, there is another one.
Okay, so we have poor communication after the campaign and the lack of motivation to edit after that. Okay, that's really something that we are trying to solve by having this meeting.
Yes, I will be creating more cards for you to write if you want. Once again, if you have, once again, I'm resending a link for you. Once again, I'm sharing the link for you on the Jamboard. Please feel free to use the chat, either in English or in your own language, to write down your comments. I will now read a couple that are presented on the screen. From the first column, newcomers feel discouraged because other editors have better editing skills. And a similar idea being the active discouraging from the older editors, more experienced editors regarding the skills of people that are trying to join as the newcomers. We also have a lack of tools that are suitable for editing. Those are technical tools like laptops for new users. But luckily, we will have the growth team talk about us later regarding the tools that they are creating, which are not hardware, but can be very useful for newcomers when it comes to staying in our movement.
We also have a complaint bureaucracy. The Wikimedia Foundation wants volunteers to do everything, especially in the WikiForHumanRights campaign. Applying for a grant is annoying and needs a report, which is a lot of work for us. I assume this is a code to simplify the process of applying for a grant for the Wiki for Human Rights campaign. We also have another interesting one. Sensitive topics can be deleted, which affects motivation of new editors. So yes, this is something that many newcomers complain, not only in writing campaigns, but also in everyday editing. And there needs to be a mechanism which could protect the edits by the newcomers so that they don't get disparaged in contributing to the Wikimedia projects. This is also a very nice point. We have another complaint regarding bureaucracy, but this is more on progress related. Too many rules and limitation to follow, otherwise you face disputes and reverts. So yeah, this is related to the previous one on edit, which was editing on sensitive topics.
Yes, we got some nice ideas in the left column. I would like now to encourage everybody to share a bit more about the methods that they have used to retain the newcomers. If you had organized a good campaign in the past and you were able to retain some newcomers that became members of the community, please share with us a bit about how you managed to achieve that. Maybe you did it yourself, maybe it was planned from the beginning, maybe it was help, maybe it was a help from the local affiliate. If there is a method that you've used previously that worked pretty well, or even might be well, please share it with us. Maybe somebody else had a very similar experience, or maybe somebody will learn from you right here about the method that they can use the next time they are organizing a campaign or a competition. Yes, yeah, as Jessica mentioned, you can use the chat as well. We will copy your comments. You can also open your microphone if you are interested in sharing the method, or if you would like us to tell a bit more than the Jamboard card. It can fit, as they are quite small in the amount of text that they can present to us. Or maybe you would like to comment on one of the cards. For now, in the right column about the methods, we have one card saying that workshops for those new community members or affiliate staff supported newcomers after the campaign, and it allowed them to stay in our movement. Another card that I'm now collecting in the right corner is the mentorship program, and inviting the newcomers to meetups that they can later attend. That they can later attend to continue their engagement in the movement. Also keeping a good connection with the new editors and a good connection with the village PAMs on wikis. Looks like a common theme here is just keeping connected with the people that are attending your campaign and making sure that they have somebody to reach out to later on. Is what helps people stay engaged in the movement long after they have finished the campaign.
Yeah, we also have the mentorship program, inviting them to meetups, engaging existing editors to help newcomers and be kind. Regarding the mentorship program, this pretty much depends on the size of the project that you're working on, because some medium and small sized Wikipedias cannot have sustainable mentorship programs. So that it usually boils down to communication one by one, in which use an active editor, an active and experienced editor, goes to teach the newcomers on how to edit Wikipedia. And in some cases, this also may not exist. But yes, I agree that inviting newcomers to meetups and getting them involved more deeply in the Wikimedia movement, so that they learn the different kinds of contributing, can also be very useful for them.
Yes, thank you very much, Kirill, for the summary here. If any of you is interested, you can still access the Jamboard after we finish the session, or while our sharers are sharing their experience. And mentioning that, I would like now to welcome the Wikimedia Serbia staff, who will be our first sharer today, and will share with us their experience on the way that they have trained newcomers during campaigns and how they have worked on improving their retention during and after the competitions or campaigns have been finished. I don't know who will share a screen here.
Yeah, I can start, yeah. So
yes, thank you, Ivana.
Yeah,
thank you, Ivana. I have one more thing. If you are interested in asking a question to the Wikimedia Serbia team, you can go to the second slide on the Jamboard that I will now share with you on the screen. And those questions will be answered later in the Q&A once the Ivana presentation is finished. Thank you, and take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. So hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. I am really looking forward to sharing our experience, and especially because there's a lot of people here. So it's quite nice to that we all meet up and talk about our challenges and our learning experience. I'm about to share my presentation right now. So just quick. So I'm just going to quickly introduce ourselves. As I said, I'm Ivana Madzarevic. I'm ED of Wikimedia Serbia. And I've been involved in Wikimedia Serbia since 2014. I'm actually here because I worked as program and community manager first, and have been organizing a lot of campaigns and competitions and different formats on Serbian Wikipedia. And thank you, Kirill, for such nice words. We're trying to have these actions on our language project along with our core community members. And since I've been involved in my new role from this year, here with me today is Nevena Rudinac. She's a diversity program manager, and she has been organizing these activities last year, but also she will be doing this this year and in the future. So basically, we are here to share with you what we did to retain new editors within our different campaigns that we had. And I'm going to start with explaining what types of campaigns we had. It's basically the formats on Serbian Wikipedia that can attract new editors, but they can also increase enlarge our community and our existing editor community. So we have thematic weeks, we have editathons, competitions, but we also have some, we cannot say like campaigns, but maybe projects on different Wikimedia projects with different goals that are really, really good for giving this to new editors so they can be they can stay active on our project. So I can just explain a little bit thematic week. I think that you all know that and that you probably have some similar campaigns. But here on Serbian Wikipedia, we have thematic weeks that are more focused on core Wikipedia, Serbian Wikipedia community, because they were started by community members. And they're focused on covering the and actually overcoming the content gap on some specific topic. They last up to 1 or 2 weeks, and they're inclusive in terms of inviting newbies to edit, but also they are more focused on existing editors. Then we have editathons. These editathons are actually super opportunities to attract new people. Why? Because we are usually organizing them along with our partners, and then we can actually use resources of our partners in terms of volunteers involved, new people who want to edit, staff members of different institutions or organizations that are collaborating with us. And they're usually focused on some specific date and some specific topics, such as International Women's Day or International Roma Day or something similar. Then we have competitions. They have these different formats in terms of they last up to 1 month or several months when we talk about CEE Spring that Kirill mentioned earlier. And we have in competitions, they are, I think, not maybe the second, but maybe the third step for newcomers, because they can first try thematic week and editathons and then focus on someone else. I think, Kirill, you're not muted. Or someone else? Okay. And as I said, these different actions that we are having on Wikimedia projects, such as She Said campaign, which is quite nice campaign that is engaging wiki quotes, and it's quite easy to access. It's quite nice to access. It's interesting. It can engage enthusiasts on this topic, but also Wikipedia pages wanting photos. We have these easy tasks, but then again, combining Wikimedia Commons and Wikipedia, One Lib, One Ref campaign that is quite popular in Serbia, but also in the CEE region, and cultural heritage on Wikidata, which means that we are increasing content on Wikidata, and therefore we are actually attracting people from cultural institutions to join us and to be a part of the Wikipedia community. And each format that I've mentioned has its own target groups, which means that, for example, competitions are, they are attracting experienced editors and maybe this core community, because it can be difficult for newcomers. But then on the other hand, we have editathons and thematic weeks that are much better format for newcomers. And why is this the case? This is the learning outcome that we had. So it's not easy for newcomers to compete with much more experienced editors because of the lack of skills, editing skills. They feel discouraged, and it seems to them that they cannot edit or as fast or as good as they would like to do this in the beginning. And it leads to giving up and not trying to stay active on projects. But then we gathered all of these challenges and learning outcomes and maybe experience from newbies, like listening to them, what they find the most difficult things that they see on Wikipedia, and we are trying to actually listen to them and I mean, see their needs in terms of technical needs or maybe soft skill needs or some other things they need. So we are trying to invite them first to editathon or thematic week, and that editathons work first before the pandemic offline events, which were quite a nice opportunity to involve people, to meet them, to get to know them, to introduce them to the community, and they feel less pressure. They feel like this peer-to-peer help, because they can ask someone at Editathon to help them or to maybe even work with them afterwards. And we're actually listening to their interests, which means that when you combine enthusiasts or people who are really passionate on some specific topic, and when you combine them with Wikipedians, you can have this huge impact, not just on our community, but even broader. So also within our competitions, it is possible to join without being evaluated. So you can actually be a part of the competitions in terms of supporting this project, but not being pressured to write a lot of articles or write or to provide a lot of content in that terms, but also being a part of it. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Nevena. You can share the screen and she can continue with the learning outcomes, sharing our learning outcomes.
Hi everyone from my side as well. I'm really happy to be here, and we will continue more with learning from our experiences and some stuff that we found the most effective, and hopefully this will be helpful to all of you. And again, Kirill, thank you for, first of all, your invitation and your kind words. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we will continue working in the manner that we did so far. Hopefully everybody can see the presentation. I will take that as a yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Well, one of the steps that we found out from our experience that is really effective is organizing Wikipedia editing workshops with new editors. And why are they important? Well, they are kind of there to make new editors feel more confident about their Wikipedia editing skills, which makes them more comfortable to write articles and publish their work, because if they have right knowledge and skills, they don't have the feeling and the pressure of what if they make some mistakes, and what if they do something that they shouldn't. Usually we deliver workshops that are divided into two parts, so the theoretical and practical one. When it comes to theoretical parts, the participants have opportunity to learn some basic information about Wikimedia projects, especially Wikipedia. And we put a strong emphasis on some important rules when it comes to writing articles on Wikipedia, such as, for example, writing from a neutral perspective, avoiding language that can seem biased, etc. When it comes to the when it comes to the other, like, more practical part of the Wikipedia editing workshops, participants have opportunity to learn how to edit Wikipedia articles by leading the example. What I mean by this is that one of the persons who is delivering the workshop will demonstrate in real time to participants how to edit articles on Wikipedia, and they have their own laptops and they can follow each step of that process and ask questions along the way. And after the demonstration, the participants will have tasked to write articles on Wikipedia by themselves, of course, with support and guidance from us or from people who actually deliver workshops. And one of the things that we try to do is to adjust workshops to the interests and needs of the participants. As Ivana mentioned, most often those Wikipedia editing workshops are being delivered in collaboration with some partnering organizations, for example, NGO organizations that are focused on Roma topics or LGBTQI+ topics. So volunteers and the members of those organizations have opportunity to write about the topics that they're interested in, so that contributes to their motivation. Also, we try to use any technical aspect in order to improve experience and tailor the experience more to the needs of participants. For example, when participants are not from Belgrade, we will opt for online rather than offline Wikipedia editing workshop. When it comes to the competitions, one of the things that we try to do is to invite jury to give comments and advices to newcomers during the competition, and this can be helpful because they can learn along the way and they can improve their Wikipedia editing skills during the campaign, which also makes them more confident about their skills. Also, we try to encourage new editors by, for example, during the CEE Spring, we have a special prize that is reserved for the best newcomer, and those prizes are not only there to motivate newcomers, but also to show that their contribution is important. One of the things that we would advise is also to organize editathons during the competitions, because editathons provide the opportunity for the new editors to write about certain topics that they're mostly interested in, but without the pressure and in less invasive environment. And one of the important things that we already mentioned, but that we also found very beneficial, is mentorship program. On Serbian Wikipedia, we have mentorship program in which to each newcomer, to each new editor, one experienced editor is assigned as a mentor, and mentee can ask and turn to their mentor for all the guide and support. And this provides the opportunity for them to the introduction to Wikimedia projects, and especially Wikipedia, can be less challenging and less stressful. When it comes to the retention of new editors after the campaign is over, we try to keep in touch and engage them in several ways. One of the things that we always try to do is invite them to the next event, next editathon thematic week competition. And one of the things that we think it might be beneficial is to pay attention to what kind of articles do new editors often edit about. For example, if they edit about topics that are related to gender, roles, feminism, we invite them to join, for example, Wikigap. If they're more interested in the topic of human rights, we would invite them to join WikiForHumanRights. If they're interested in like geography topics, we would invite them for the editathon or thematic week that is more in line with that. Also, one of the things that we put a lot of emphasis on is offline meetups, because they can kind of provide the opportunity for newcomers to increase sense of belonging to a community and to establish and maintain bonds with the rest of the community. And sometimes of those offline meetups can be, for example, visits to museum exhibition or to theater play, and we organize it in the sense that we encourage participants in those offline meetups to take pictures during those events or write some impressions, and then after that main event is over, we would kind of get together and we would upload those photos on Wikimedia Commons. We would maybe together illustrate articles in Wikipedia, maybe write new ones or improve some already existing articles based on the things that we learned during the museum visit or during the playwright and stuff like that. So those offline meetups are really important. And also we try to invite new editors to campaigns such as Wikipedia Pages Wanting Photos or She Said, because they require less effort than, for example, CEE Spring, so that they feel that they can easily contribute to Wikipedia projects. And all those activities have one goal in mind, and that is increase motivation and engagement of the new participants. We also try to stay in touch with new editors by inviting them to subscribe to our internal mailing list and to follow our website for any information. Also in Serbian Wikipedia, there is a page for people who want to be notified about next campaigns. So we always encourage them to follow that page. And also one of the things that can be helpful is encouraging people to use tools to measure their contribution, such as a dashboard. And we believe that this is important because by seeing how much they contributed, that can be a motivation for new editors to continue editing and contributing even more. And finally, I want to share with you some of the important lessons that we learn when it comes to motivating new editors to stay on Wikipedia. One of them is that working in smaller groups is really helpful and beneficial. So those groups can have members like 10 to 15 members. And why is important for new editors to work in group? Well, if they form a specific community within community, and if they work as a team, they can rely on each other for support and for mentorship, so they can learn together and help each other build knowledge and build their skills when it comes to Wikipedia editing, but also editing other Wikimedia projects. And what are some ways in which we can make sure that those groups are formed? Well, one of the ways to ensure that is to maybe approach already existing groups. For example, if you have contact with some partnership organization or NGO organization that has volunteers that are already a group that works on certain topic, that is interested specifically in certain topic, you can approach them and invite them to add Wikipedia. And another way is to kind of establish connections between new editors who have similar interests, maybe don't know each other, but are similar in some regards. And maybe in that way, they can form a smaller group, and that can be helpful for them to continue editing on Wikipedia. And one of the important lessons that we learned is that sometimes, unfortunately, new editors can be discouraged to continue contributing to Wikipedia, especially if they had some negative feedback or negative experience from the community, and especially if they want to write about some sensitive topics because they're afraid of the reaction that they will get from the community. One of the ways in which we can prevent that is to pay attention to new editors as much as possible and provide them with the support and guidance whenever they need it and whatever kind of support they needed. For example, if their article is being voted for to be deleted because they're missing some sort of literature, maybe provide them with the literature, help them find the literature in order to save their article or stuff like that. So this is all that we prepared for you today. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you, Ivana and Nevena, for the insightful presentation. There are so many interesting points that you shared, so that I hope the participants in today's event will learn a lot from it. I can't find any comments or questions on the Jamboard. Let's see, what do we have in the chat? So we have a comment by Sandra. It's a good point to mention the same interest, especially for newcomers. They find that there are a lot of other people like them and they can help each other. So yeah, this is an interesting observation with which I have to say that I agree. Okay, are there any other questions? you can also raise your hand because we have finished with the presentation, and use the microphone to ask. Or you can still use the chat and the Jamboard.
We have this question, will the presentation will be shared? Yes, it will. I think Jessica probably will send the follow-up, or I assume that will be the case.
Yes, we shared it in the chat. I will share the links again, but we always send an email out with all the session material afterwards as well. But I'll share it in the chat again.
Okay. I think someone raised the hand, but I cannot see that right now. Is it Marcela?
Yes, it's me. Bom, aqui no Brasil as pessoas utilizam muito a Wikipedia, é muito conceituado, mas o que eu percebo aqui, pelo menos, é que a questão da edição, ao que parece, é restrito apenas às pessoas um pouco mais dotadas de inteligência, alguma coisa nesse sentido. Então, talvez aqui no Brasil seja esse viés de entendimento das pessoas. Eu queria saber dentro disso se, além das conexões que a Nevena comentou, vocês já, no país de vocês aí, se já houve alguma ação, alguma campanha para aproximar a Wikipedia, a Wikimedia, de forma conjunta, né, comunitária na edição. Porque, ao meu ver, aqui no Brasil, as pessoas utilizam demais, é muito conceituado, mas não tem ideia ainda de quem realmente edita isso ou como funciona.
Sorry.
I will just add a short comment. We do have this similar opinion when we talk about Wikipedia. People think that you have to be from the IT, with the IT background to edit Wikipedia. So it's quite similar, but more with some technical skills. But then we are actually trying to explain that is not the case, especially with some new tools that we can use, and visual editor that is quite user-friendly, and you don't have to know the code, but you can edit in a visual editor. And we do that by really actually just talking and promoting Wikipedia and promoting on specific events, and especially in educational institutions. For example, we have this huge education program in Wikimedia Serbia, and we're trying to involve more participants from students and pupils and high school students that can be a part of the Wikipedia, and they can actually realize they don't have to be with the IT background to edit Wikipedia. And this is not just the case in educational institutions, so faculties, colleges, or schools, but it can be the case in cultural institutions. So if you actually spread the word and do as much as these activities, such as even editathons and competitions and thematic weeks and editing workshops, you can explain them that it's you have to know the skills, of course, but it's not so unapproachable.
Okay, thank you, Ivana.
Yeah, I would agree. Sorry. I would agree with Ivana, and just add that really promoting Wikipedia and trying to establish as many partnerships outside of Wikimedia world as possible, and like spreading the word that everybody can become editor, and that it is challenging at first, but it's not impossible to learn how to edit. Wikipedia can help in bringing Wikipedia and seeing it as more approachable and not something that's reserved for like IT programmers or highly intelligent people. Like we have people from elementary schools who edit Wikipedia, and I'm really proud of that. So when they start that early, I think that it's not as challenging.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I see that we have another interesting question in the chat. How to motivate the new editors to participate in Wikimedia activities? I suppose this is a question on how to get new editors involved in organizing other initiatives on Wiki, or also get involved in off-Wiki activities. Ivana, Nevena, do you have anything?
Yeah, so actually it's if we are thinking about off-Wiki activities, so basically offline things, organizing events, if we are talking about that, then I think it's much easier, because when you're having the offline events such as conferences and even editathons, this meetup element is quite nice for people, for new people, because they're participating in something. They feel like they are a part of something, belonging to a community, and not just local community, but also the community that is quite large in the whole world. So it's quite motivating for them to do that. But if we are talking about the on-Wiki activities, well, basically we mentioned some of the things in the presentation, but we are figuring it out all the way, because we are trying to find new methods, new models. We are also trying to hear something at events such as this one, or at conferences all over the world, and to try to implement that. So you can do a lot of things. You can organize camps for volunteers who want to be involved in an education program. You can organize camps with along with other chapters and communities from the region, so you can connect people and increase this network, because it's quite a satisfaction from them. You can have Wiki ambassadors who will spread the word, who will get this motivation from this Wiki ambassador work. But also you can have a Wikipedian in residence program, which can attract people who are more interested in cultural heritage, in digitization, in releasing the free content from the institutions. So you can have a lot of things you can do, but we do not have enough time, I think, to talk about that here. But I'm always inviting people to see our reports, or even blog posts on DIF, or some other resources they can find regarding our work.
Okay, thank you, Ivana.
Okay.
We have some activity in the chat, and I agree with most of the comments. Yes, it's definitely the most important thing to target your right audience, because if you tell people that you can edit on any topic, you're doing nothing. But if you tell geographers that they can edit on geography, or I don't know, scientists that they can edit on scientific topics, then you really identified one thing, one topic which is important, that you put priority on, and then you have a much greater chance that people would become interested to start editing Wikipedia.
Yes, thank you everyone for the engagement. Thank you, Nevena, and thank you, Ivana, for the training today. You can all reach them on the email address on the last slide. And now I would like to welcome Kirsten and Martin. That will be our second shares today. They will present us the tools that could help organizers and campaign organizers support the newcomers. They will show us what the growth team has been working on for the past few years. They will share some useful insights. And at the end, they will answer your questions about their current work and what they have in plan for us and the movement for the next, in the future. Welcome, Kirsten, welcome, Martin. The floor is yours. And I would like to remind the participants that the Jamboard on the second slide will gather your questions for our speakers. We will also be gathering them from the chat. Thank you. And Kirsten, take it away.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I shared and then my unmute button went away. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Kirsten Stoller and I'm the Growth Team Product Manager. Before I launch too far into this, can I just get a thumbs up or yes from someone that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see and hear you well.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm here to discuss how growth tools can be used for retaining and re-engaging new editors during and after the Wiki for Human Rights campaign. And today I'm hoping to cover a couple things. I'll quickly introduce a little bit about the growth team, and then I'll discuss newcomer features in more detail. And then Martin will be sharing more details about the growth team's mentorship features, as I think that that's a feature that could potentially be very useful for several of you here. And then I'll conclude by sharing more details about how previous campaigns have already used growth tools to support newcomers and support their campaign efforts. We have a lot to cover, so I'll keep the growth team intro succinct. Basically, new editor retention is critical to the long-term sustainability of the Wikimedia movement. The mission of the Wikimedia Foundation's growth team is to support new account holders by designing and building engaging, intuitive, and inclusive products that make it easier for diverse audiences to join the Wikimedia movement. And the growth team is working on projects and features that relate to this via account creation, activation, and the retention funnel that you see on the right hand of the slides here. So, we do that by making sure, enough readers and newcomers are funneling in and creating new accounts. We focus a lot on activation, which is the term that we use for when a new account edits for the first time. So we want to make sure a healthy number of new accounts go on to try editing for the first time. And then of course, we care a lot about retention, how to make sure newcomers continue to come back and continue to edit. So the current growth team was founded actually in 2018. And it was based on an initial research project called New Editor Experiences. And that study identified 3 main needs that new editors have on Wikipedia. And the growth team has then tackled several projects around these new editor needs. So I'll talk in more depth about all of these, but for a basic idea, what the first need is in context help. So we have created a help panel that provides in context help for newcomers who are editing. We provide human to human help via mentorship. And we have task recommendations via the newcomer homepage and what is called suggested edits. And I will talk a lot more about all these now. So hopefully that gave you kind of a high level picture of what the growth team cares about. And now I will talk about the actual specific features that the growth team has worked on. But before I do that, here's the key point I want you all to remember. The growth team features are only enabled by default on newly created accounts on Wikipedia. So if you don't have newcomer features, you can go to your preferences and enable them and test them out on your own. So if you don't remember anything else I say, please just remember this. You can adjust your preferences to test out the newcomer editor features yourself. Just go to preferences. A few other important things to note is growth features are released on all Wikipedias, but some of the newer features aren't scaled to all wikis. So we actually have created a spreadsheet, and I don't know, can I access chat? Okay, here we go. Here's the spreadsheet. Oh, thank you, Jessica, you beat me to it. Here's the spreadsheet for that details, which of these newer growth features are released on which wikis. So if you aren't sure if your wiki has mentorship set up or some of these other features, that spreadsheet will help. So let's see. The other feature I want you to know about is that all of the growth features are set to be community configurable. So this is a tool which allows each Wikipedia language community to tailor the growth features to their own group's needs. So for example, if one wiki doesn't think that they need more links added to their wiki, they could disable add a link, a specific task for newcomers, or they could adjust the settings to make it work better for their wiki. So let's see, one of the earliest growth team projects aimed to address the need around in-context help. So we have automatically present new users with small doses of help relevant to the activity that they're doing in the moment. The help panel is available to newcomers when editing an article, and newcomers can quickly search for the help they need. And on wikis that have mentorship enabled, newcomers can also see the option to get more personalized help from their mentor. The help panel also provides more contextual help when a newcomer is completing a suggested edit. This guidance significantly increases the percentage of newcomers that complete suggested edits. We have also completed what is called the newcomer homepage. This helps provide a starting place for newcomers who might be asking, what do I do next? Like, what do I do after I've completed this campaign or an event? There's a bunch of different parts of this newcomer homepage. There's an add an email call to action to encourage newcomers to associate an email address with their account. There's suggested edits, which I'll talk about in more detail, but we're providing newcomer-friendly tasks for newcomers on this homepage. There's the Your Impact module, which provides feedback on how the editor is doing, what they've recently edited, and that sort of thing. We also have a module for introducing newcomers to their mentor, if mentorship's enabled on that wiki. And there's a Get Help with Editing module that includes popular help pages for getting started. This is another one of the features that's fully configurable by wiki language communities. So, they can, then the articles added there are configured by wiki. So suggested edits was introduced as a new module to the homepage, and it creates a way to, suggest what newcomers could do next. It could suggest simple things like copy editing or adding links on articles. Newcomers can choose to edit articles in topic areas that they have knowledge or interest in, as well as different types of edits they'd like to make. So for example, all the suggestions in suggested edits are populated by maintenance templates added by community members. So for example, on English Wikipedia, the Find References task is populated by articles that have the unreferenced template or one of the other similar templates. So once again, communities can decide which templates are used to populate this list via community configuration. And as long as those templates remain up to date, this list of suggested edits for newcomers remains up to date. So suggested edits really helped improve newcomer retention or activation. So the number of newcomers that edit for the first time. And it also flows into increasing retention. These tasks, these completed edits, are less likely to be reverted than other edits made by newcomers. And the newcomers that have these growth features are complete 22% more edits in their first 2 weeks than newcomers that don't have growth features. So while suggested edits really helped newcomers start editing, it's clear that many newcomers still face the technical barrier that is editing Wikipedia. So that is where the growth team came up with this idea for structured tasks, which is all about breaking down editing into a series of smaller structured parts. So we partnered with the WMF research team to use algorithms to find articles across the entire encyclopedia that need specific types of edits. And then we actually pinpoint where in the article needs this edit. So for example, there is a structured task called add a link. And users receive onboarding and then a machine suggestion. And you can see from these screenshots that completing this edit is as easy as selecting yes to a link suggestion and then publishing after reviewing that change. So you can see on the right, we also provide newcomers with a follow-up suggested edit after they've completed one successfully. So far, we know that the structured add a link task has increased activation and retention by even more than just suggested edits in general. In A/B tests we ran on the growth pilot wikis, we saw a 17% increase in retention, in activation, and a 16% increase in retention. So this UX works well on mobile. It helps ensure that we're bringing in more diverse contributors in the community because it appeals to a different type of editor. And we've lowered the threshold for participation. So I want to hand it over now so that Martin can speak more about the growth team's mentorship features, as he is the engineer that worked on this and has a lot of depth of knowledge about mentorship. So let me stop screen sharing and Martin will be taking over.
Thank you, Kirsten. Let me share my screen.
We can see your screen, Martin, but you've muted yourself.
I did not intend to do that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, perfect. So thank you and hello, everyone. My name is Martin Urbanec and I'm a software engineer at the Grow team. I'll be talking about mentorship today. Mentorship is based on the idea that newcomers benefit from help from another live person. Mentorship, as of today, is deployed at all of the language versions of Wikipedia, so it can be used there, but it's unfortunately not available at all of them because not all language versions of Wikipedia have mentors. Fortunately, that's the only blocker for using mentorship, so if you don't see the mentorship box at any wiki and you want to have one, the only thing that needs to be done is to secure a sufficient amount of mentors. The mentorship features on the newcomers end work by assigning a random experienced user to the newcomer. They have the username of the mentor on the newcomer homepage. They can send questions to that mentor, and all of the questions will be posted as talk messages on the talk page of the mentor. Once the mentor replies to the message, the newcomer will see the reply at the talk page. To make sure that does actually happen, we encourage mentors to ping the newcomer when they answer any questions to increase the probability of a newcomer noticing the reply. Newcomers can also see the past questions they asked to the mentor and refer back to the answer in case they need it later. The newcomers assigned mentors from a list of mentors that's specific for any given wiki. The aspects of the mentor list are fully community configurable. By default, only users with more than 500 edits and 90 days since registration can sign up as mentors, but local communities can change this via the community configuration. There's a special page that displays all the mentors of a given wiki, together with information they shared about themselves that are displayed on the newcomers end, and also other mentorship properties.
Martin, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Your slides aren't moving. We're still on the main mentorship slide, so I think you might want to check that.
Okay. Let me try sharing again. I'm sorry for that. What can you see now?
Yeah, it says mentorship, experienced Wikimedians, volunteers, and we see. I think it's working.
Thank you. Okay. Just before I continue, can you see something changed?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. As I mentioned, the aspects of the mentor list are fully community configurable. This extends also to the list of newcomers. Community admins can moderate the list of mentors by changing information about other mentors or removing mentors out of the list in case someone is not suitable to be a mentor. On the mentors side, there's a feature called the mentor dashboard, which contains of several modules. The dashboard contains the list of newcomers the user, the mentor was assigned to as mentor, including information about the user. They can see the number of edits, the number of questions they made, etc. This is intended to enable mentors to proactively respond to their mentees and monitor the activity of the mentees. On the dashboard, the mentors can also change the introduction message that's displayed to the newcomer, and also change the mentorship status to away in case they go temporarily to a wiki vacation and are not able to answer questions. If that happens, the system automatically picks a backup mentor to handle the questions that are asked by the newcomers while the main mentor is away. The mentor dashboard also allows the mentor to change the amount of newcomers the mentor receives. By default, the assignment of newcomers to mentors is equal across all of the mentors. But at sometimes some mentors have more time to answer questions and want more people assigned to them, as well as the other way around. The mentor dashboard allows the mentors to change that. The mentors can also decide to claim a particular user as their mentee, which is especially useful for campaigns, because this allows the same mentor to be assigned to the newcomer, both in the real world, at the editor turn or something, and after the event via the grow features. There's currently a new module under development that will be soon added to the mentor dashboard, which is called personalized praise. And this module tries to find out newcomers assigned to a particular mentor that are doing a good job. They're saving a lot of edits, those edits aren't reverted, and it suggests the mentor assigned to those users to review the activity of those users and send them a thank you message. The idea is that the participation of those users will increase if they know that whatever they do on the wikis is being valued, seen by someone else, and reacted positively to. This, as I mentioned, this feature is currently under development and will be first released on the Go Team pilot wikis before eventually being deployed to all other wikis. The mentor dashboard can be used by event organizers to see how the attendees of that event are doing. You can see if you claim the participants of the event, you can see them on the mentor dashboard, see what they are doing, how they are active, if they're still making edits, and to use the mentor dashboard to monitor what's happening with the newcomers that registered as part of that event. It's also possible to view a filtered version of recent changes, which shows all the changes made on a wiki, filtered down only to your mentees. It can be used to monitor and check the activity of your own mentees and perhaps spend more time reviewing edits of those users and proactively helping them if they run into any issues that you can spot by seeing the edits they made. As a specific feature that's potentially useful to campaigns organizers is that it's possible to create a specific sign-up link, a link to the account creation form that will automatically set a mentor of that user to any user that you want. You can create a link that will automatically set the mentor of the user who signs up from that link to me, for example. This can be used as a step to reduce the need for claiming. So anyone who creates their account via that link will automatically have the event organizer as a mentor, who will then be able to help the users after the event finishes. For bigger campaigns that have more than one organizer, it's possible to specify multiple names in the account creation URL address, and then the system will automatically pick a random user from the list you specified and assign that user to the newcomer. This only works if the users specified as the mentors are actually mentors. So if you want to use this, you can sign up as a mentor on your wiki. And if you don't want to receive any newcomers apart from those that register via the specific link, or apart from newcomers that you claim manually, you can, in your mentor dashboard, set that you don't want to receive any mentees automatically, and you will only have mentees coming through dedicated sign-up addresses or mentees that you claim manually on your mentor dashboard. And I believe that's all I have for mentorship. So back to you, Kirsten.
Yeah, let's see. I have just a couple more slides to share, and then we'll move on to Q&A. So I just wanted to share a couple of campaigns that have used growth tools in the past to help support their efforts. So here's an example of the One Pick, One Article campaign that added pictures to articles using the Add an Image structured task. Once Add an Image onboarding is completed, newcomers can see the reason why the image was suggested, enlarge the image if needed, and view more image details. And this image metadata can help newcomers determine if the image is a good fit for the article. And if it's a fit, the newcomer just reviews and publishes the changes. So the Add an Image structure task was used by a series of GLAM events in this campaign. GLAM professionals with minimal or no prior editing experience were able to use the Add an Image tool quickly and successfully to add images to articles. And the majority of the participants found this tool easy and enjoyable to use. Some participants expressed interest in, learning more about contributing to commons, improving articles, and other ways to get involved more deeply in the community. Some campaign participants even mentioned that the Add an Image tool was enjoyable enough that it felt like playing a game to complete these types of edits, which is a pretty high praise coming from a newcomer. After the campaign ended, many participants continued editing Wikipedia, and some continued to use the tool, but many other went on to make other kinds of edits or worked on translations, expanded articles, or even contributed to Wikidata. So this campaign helped demonstrate how growth tools could be used to help a specific cause or effort, while engaging new editors in a way that sets them up for long-term success after the event. The second campaign that I wanted to share uses growth tools on an ongoing basis and is organized by the Wikimedia Serbia user group. This group organizes campaigns and workshops around cultural gaps at Spanish Wikipedia. Organizers use a custom list of articles during the event, but introduce newcomers to suggested edits to find articles related to their interest. So after the event, this really helps answer that common "what should I do next" question for newcomers. And then mentorship is also used to support participants when that workshop is over. Having a mentor helps participants feel more confident and comfortable asking questions. This campaign shows how newcomer tools can be combined with providing supportive mentorship after an event, and how that can really further the impact of a campaign. So that's all I actually have for today. And I know that that was a lot. So here are like 3 takeaways that I want to make sure everybody gets in case you don't remember anything else. Number 1, remember that you can test out any of the growth features yourself by enabling the newcomer editor features in your preferences. Number 2, if you have questions about setting up mentorship, Martin and I are both happy to help, but actually the name on the screen, Czech WMF, will be, his role is a community relations specialist on the growth team. So he could, set up a separate training session. He could really provide a lot of support. So feel free to reach out to us if you want, but also Czech is a great person to reach out to and will provide a lot of support. And number 3, please feel free to chat with the growth team and reach out to us at any point. We really value community feedback and input. We post weekly updates and a newsletter every other month. We'd love if you subscribed. If you're interested in newcomers and newcomer retention, the growth team would love to be in contact with you. So speaking of which, I would love to hear any of the questions that have come in, and I will stop screen sharing.
Thank you very much, Kirsten and Martin. I have linked on the chat a user profile on Meta to Czech, so people can reach out directly to him. And I believe that also answers the first question that we have on our Jamboard about activating the mentorship feature. If not, please reach out on the chat once again. The question here is, The question on the Jamboard presented by our participant is that the mentorship goal and idea is very good, but in practice, mentors receive a lot of spam on their discussion page, which the user says that they are speaking from experience. I will probably elaborate on these questions. Is the growth team maybe aware of this? Are there any plans or methods that your team is planning to put in the future to minimize that?
Let's see, first of all, let me also link you to a help document that we put together specifically for campaign organizers that might want to set up mentorship. So that's another resource, although I definitely recommend reaching out to Czech as well. As far as what could be done to help reduce spam on discussion pages, I'm actually curious to know like what kind of spam we're talking about here. This is actually somewhat new to me. I don't know, Martin, if you've heard about this before. Are we just talking repetitive questions from newcomers, or is it actual like spam?
I will I will add a point here for myself. I'm also a mentor on Polish Wikipedia, one of the first projects that actually, by consensus, 100% unanimous consensus, adopted the growth team's work. The thing I think I'm worried about are messages that are not helpful. For me personally, it's been people coming to the paid editing on Wikipedia and just saying, hey, will you get this article published if I pay you? Or, hey, who am I supposed to reach out to regarding this and this? People treating the mentorship tool more like an administrator notice board or trying to elevate their plea so it's heard faster than if they went the usual way.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the elaboration there. I don't know. I can attempt to answer that, but Martin, I'm curious if you want to answer that instead. I'm sure that you've thought a lot more about this as a mentor yourself and getting feedback from mentors for such a long period of time. Do you have any thoughts, Martin?
Yes, thank you.
Somebody is also, please close your mic if you are not speaking right now.
Thank you. Yes, I do see such messages as, from my experience as a Czech Wikipedia mentor from time to time. It's like 2 or 3 messages a month. It's not something that I consider personally as a huge issue, but maybe
Martin, sorry, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. So yes, I do see a similar not helpful questions like, hello, my name is something, 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 without really asking a question from time to time. From my experience, there's several questions a month. And I usually reply to those, like trying to explain what mentorship is. I understand that maybe not very much helpful. I'm curious to know if those questions are arriving at a much higher rate at some other projects, where maybe the users in that project are misunderstanding the purpose of mentorship more often than on my home wiki. Be curious to learn more about that, and we can definitely try to think about ways how to solve that.
Thank you very much, Martin. I was reached out on the chat. If you could please once again describe quickly how can the mentorship tool be turned on by a community or by a user. If it should be Tracy that should be contacted, or if there's anything else or if there is anything that the committees can do themselves?
Certainly. Is it okay if I share my mic?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So what needs to happen in order to enable mentorship is first to get a reasonable amount of mentors. The Q team suggests each wiki to have one mentor per 500 newcomers who register monthly. And that can be done by users visiting the mentor dashboard by going to special column mentor dashboard on the wiki and filling the enrollment form. Once there's a sufficient amount of mentors sign up, any administrator can go to community configuration. Here's an example on Esperanto Wikipedia, and select mentorship enabled yes. And from that moment, mentorship will be enabled and newcomers will receive their mentors. So technically speaking, any community can enable mentorship at any time by first getting a reasonable amount of mentors and then enabling the mentorship. Of course, Czech would be very happy to help with that process in case there are any questions, but those are the basics. Answer the question?
Thank you very much, Martin. If there are any questions to Kirsten and Martin regarding the today presentation, as Jessica mentioned, it will also be sent out to you in the email after the call today. And you can always reach out to the growth team and learn more about their work on their meta pages. Thank you very much to our speakers. And with that, I would like to invite all of you to our next agenda point, mainly the summary of what we have discussed today. I will share the Jamboard with you once again. It's the third slide. Please share with us one thing that you had learned from the presentation today that you didn't know before. And feel free to brainstorm your ideas about supporting people during the campaign. Something that maybe you thought about this today call, maybe something that you are doing in your community that hasn't been shared before. Feel free to populate the Jamboard. Feel free to speak out, raise your hand. You can use the chat, share with our sharers which you valued in their presentations, and use this time to let us know what you learned, what you enjoyed here today. Okay, we have a first comment saying that growth team tools are super cool.
We also have a shared idea that is mentorship. So that's the kind of support that people expect to get during the campaign. Yeah, mentorship is definitely something that was mentioned a couple of times in the chat and during the presentations. We have another comment, really interested in the mentorship too. Okay, again, mentorship. And we also have growth team tools, something I really need to study more. Oh, it disappeared. Activating my preferences to have the growth experience feature and support new editors.
Yes, please don't edit the cards that you can see that somebody else is editing, because then you are overwriting what they wrote themselves.
Yeah. I think it was mentioned in the chat that people really need advice on how to activate the newcomer tools on their wiki.
People in the chat are mentioning that they cannot unmute yourself. Please raise your hand if you want to speak and try to. Let's try again, please. Francesco. Okay, also Anas wants to speak. Okay, we'll leave it 1 or 2 minutes more for people to share the lessons learned today, or if you have a new idea that came to your mind. Before we proceed to the closing, I would like you all to join us at the Menti app that I will now send the link to in the chat. And please give us feedback about today's presentation. You can answer each of the 3 questions. How useful do you think this session was to you? And did it give you ideas on how you should train newcomers in the Wiki for Human Rights campaign, but also all the other campaigns or competitions that you will organize or help organize, maybe participate? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the Jamboard participation and for engaging with the Menti tool. I will now pass the voice to Kirill that will close today's session. Thank you all very much from me.
Thank you, Maciej. At the end, I would like to thank all the speakers today who shared their experience and knowledge regarding how people can be involved to edit Wikipedia during writing campaigns, and what are the main approaches to retain them long-term on Wikipedia and also on the other Wikimedia projects. At the end, I would like to mention that all the presentations will be shared with you. So they're a very good learning material that can be useful for you while planning and implementing your activities. I would also like to mention that one of the main approaches that people would like to learn from is to review reports and also consult the pages of past initiatives and writing campaigns. This is definitely something that could work for your campaign and your efforts in retaining editors. And the last but not the least thing is that you should also try to experiment, because experimenting is something that provides something new. It's something that can be interesting to your editors and to the newcomers. And it can also be something that could keep them in the long term. Okay. If there's nothing else to add, I would like to again thank you for joining this session, spending this 2-hour learning event with us, and being so diligent and interested to increase and to widen your knowledge with all the materials that we provided for you today. Okay,
yes,
Maciej?
I can only join Kirill with the thanks. Thank you everybody for joining us here today. Thank you our sharers. Thank you Wikimedia Serbia. Thank you the growth team. Thank you Jessica for bringing us all here today. And with this, we are ending 5 minutes before time. Let me give you all of those 5 minutes. I hope to see you at the next Let's Connect clinics. If you are interested, you can check out them in the chat here. Let's stay connected, let's connect, and let's all learn from each other. Thank you all very much, and have a good day, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. In the true Wikimedia spirit, I will leave you with the template on the chat. Time zone appropriate greeting, wherever you are. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice evening, and thank you once again.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.